Hey, you're listening to another episode of Rogan Radio in the studio tonight.
This is a happy Easter episode of
Absolutely.
Rogan Radio. A happy Easter,
Very
to
happy
both
Easter.
of you, to you and to you.
You know, here's the thing that I'm very curious about when it comes to Easter, is that Easter is purely a Christian holiday, as far as I'm concerned.
What about the Easter Bunny?
Well, that's what I mean. But if you're celebrating Easter, if you say Happy Easter, then you have to believe in Christ, right?
Yeah, the
Because
two
that's the
go
only
hand in
reason.
hand.
I mean, you would think so.
You would think, but
Unless you're 7.
You know, I know a lot of people that aren't Christians though that celebrate Christmas. So,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
well, I mean that's true too.
but I think it's easier to celebrate Christmas not being a Christian than Easter.
I think so too.
Isn't it kind of bizarre that the only real Christian holiday, and listen, when it comes to Easter, Easter is the pinnacle. You know, some would say it was Christmas is the most important Christian holiday. Well, you would be
really.
wrong in saying it's Easter because, listen, this is when Jesus is resurrected, he basically says, or it's proven, he says who he was. You know,
He proved it.
he proved
Didn't
it.
he?
That's what I mean. He came back and said, boom. And a lot of people have, and we won't get into a religious topic of this because everybody has their own opinions on that. But you know what? Everybody goes through this test of faith. You know, I mean, it's kind of hard. You know, people believe in government, but they say Christians are stupid for believing in Christ. People believe in UFOs, but they say, how can there be such thing as God? You know, Christians say we believe in Jesus, but there can't be aliens around the universe. It's so vast. I mean, it's all if you ask somebody to believe in one thing, then what's saying you're right and they're wrong? You know, in reality.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had a real problem for a long time because I think about things too much, I guess. And I'm just being honest with you, and I don't think there's not a person on this planet who believes in Jesus or God or whatever, because there's no, you know, you have what church tells you, but there's no, you know, you always
nothing
like that-
tangible. You can't see it.
Yeah.
So then it's all faith. You got to believe.
Well, you have faith, but then you also have a lot of history. So I did my own history. I said, you know what? I need something. If this guy was legit and not a Benny Hinn kind of dude, then I need to know that, because I don't want to spend my life thinking about Jesus being Benny Hinn, and because Benny Hinn just goes on stage, takes money, and beats the hell out of everybody. Yeah, he's like a kung fu master up there.
Who's that wrestler? Who's that wrestler?
Orton.
Oh, Randy Norton.
Randy Norton.
Okay, yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
guy,
he's
by
like the
way.
Randy Norton of preachers.
Yeah, I love
And the
that
whole
stuff.
front row just falls down.
But anyway, I don't know about you guys, but I had a real test of faith to where, you know, I was questioning things a lot, and I had this real, and so I did my history on this. And so first of all, I have to prove that there was actually a guy named Jesus, that there was actually a guy in history at some point. And I don't want to read the Bible because the Bible's written by Christians. I want like another party. Well, you can go into Roman letters and things like that, and you can see legitimately where there was a guy that they called Jesus, or that people followed, that was called Jesus. That's not Christian stuff.
Yeah.
That's Roman stuff who ruled the world at the time, right? So I said, okay, well, we know there was a guy named Jesus.
So we know that part's true.
So now we have to figure out is if what you read or what you're taught as a Christian in churches, if that's legit. Because you know what? Religion is a lot like a government, or if it's a lot like friendships. A lot of times you'll be told what you want to hear just so you'll be somebody's friend, or you'll follow this, or you'll follow propaganda, right?
Yeah, I do that to you.
I know you do, and I don't understand why you keep doing that. One of these days, you'll actually give me my foot rub. So one thing, this is what basically changed everything for me. So I had no more questions about it. Up until the fact, you know, you had Jesus and you had the 12 disciples and you had all the followers. But I'm going to specifically talk about the 12 disciples.
Okay.
So you had Jesus, the 12 disciples. All his boys, JC and the boys is what I call them.
JC and the boys.
And they were out partying, and they were doing this, and they were feeding everybody and going all around town, according to what you read, right? Well, what happened when the Romans came down? When the Romans came down and said, listen, we're going to take Jesus away. What happened?
Them disciples said, who?
The disciples split.
What?
They hid. Because they didn't even believe it at that point. If they really believed it, they would have been right there by that guy, and they didn't. They split.
Yes, they did.
They went into hiding. So then they crucified Jesus. Jesus comes back.
3 days later,
And
he
you know,
said,
how do I know he comes back? How do I know that?
Because thousands of people saw him.
Not so much that. Is that those 12 guys that ran away 3 days before when they were looking for him came back and suffered terrible deaths as martyrs. And listen, I love Todd
because they saw him.
because they saw him and they knew it was lit. I
say
love
that-
you. Listen, I love you too. You can tell me a lot of things, but I'm not going to die for you unless there was something there that I truly believed in. And if they were following this guy because they thought he was the son of God, and all of a sudden they split, well, they didn't at that point, and then he comes back.
Like,
Even Thomas
like-
didn't believe. Remember, his boy Thomas was
Yeah.
like, all the guys, even all the disciples kind of said he's back. And Thomas even was like, I don't believe until I can stick my fingers in the holes in his
And listen,
wrists.
and you know what? You could say that is just story, but the fact of the matter is, if you talk about history once again, and you go back and you read Roman letters talking about how they crucified these disciples and how they, St. Andrew's cross, for example, that was a torture. They said, "Kill me, feed me to the lions, burn me alive. Don't give a shit because I know the guy's legit." So you
that's
know
what
what?
they did.
If you know you're going to go to heaven, who cares? I mean, you're going to die. It's only if it takes a half hour, so be it.
That's a pretty strong testimony, Chuck.
Yeah, well, that's what did it for me.
Yeah.
That's what did it for me. So that's hey, listen, hey, happy Easter.
Happy
Everybody wake up.
Easter.
I talked to Duggar. We're going to come up with details on the third segment talking about Duggar. We have a great contest coming up with the Duggar. If you know the Duggar from this area, from the Lumberport, Shinston, Clarksburg, Morgantown, West Virginia, from Wheeling to Parkers, then basically all of West Virginia, you know the Duggar. He's been on radio. He's in the West Virginia Broadcasters Hall
That
of
guy's
Fame.
been around for a long
Listen,
time, that guy has.
The guy's going to have a big, sort of like an 80s and 90s reunion dance. He's going to bring all this stuff back, and he's asked Rogan Radio to be in it with him.
You know what? I'll go.
Listen, I
I
can't
talked
wait
to
for
my
this.
wife. I said, would you go to this? She said, hell yeah, I'll go.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're going to go ahead and give away 2
Yeah.
tickets. Now, Duggar, I want to say that I will say it this way. We'll give you once again details in the third segment about it. Is that we're going to go ahead, or Duggar's going to go ahead via Rogan Radio, give away 2 tickets to the show that night, which is on May 7th. It's a Saturday night, and a night stay at the Best Western in Bridgeport.
So you know what? You can go there. You can have your fun. You can have your dance. You can have a couple of adult beverages, and you can stay right there.
Listen, and you don't.
Or you
even-
could take Chuck up to your room even.
Yeah.
Because you're there. Because you're already there.
Absolutely, I like that idea.
Yeah.
I hope you win, Todd.
You know what?
I can make it happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll give you
He's got a
details.
little pool
He
around
can
here.
pull some strings.
We'll give you details on that once again, and we might even talk about some of this stuff of. Oh my goodness! I had a pretty cool printout of it. We'll worry about that in between segments. You're going to be very interested. It's about Yellowstone, and I don't know if you know this or not, but you always hear about the West Coast going to fall off.
Yeah.
The end,
With the
with this
fault
bigger.
and blah, blah,
Did
blah.
you know there's like a 55-mile or it's something like that? We'll get the details. A 55-mile volcano under Yellowstone, the mega volcanoes.
yeah.
Listen,
Yellowstone, is that where you get like
That
those
was
big
what was-
geysers? Those
Yeah,
They
that
were
was
old-
the
yeah,
2012
Old
movie
Yeller,
was
what-
based
no,
off
is
of
it
that.
Not Old Yeller. What's
no, my Old Faithful.
Old
Faithful.
Faithful, that's right.
So is that because there's a volcano? That's volcanic activity, right? Because the water under there and it gets so hot and it boils them.
Yeah, they said that if that Yellowstone one erupted, man,
Listen,
Look
well,
out.
I'll tell you what. It's funny you say that because in this particular story, it looks like there's a good chance that this thing is about to go
I
crazy.
think they said it was rumbling. They were getting
It's
a lot of
absolutely
feed, a lot of-
rumbling.
What?
And when they say, listen,
lot of activity.
Do you remember Mount St. Helens?
Yeah.
Okay, do you remember how that thing, when it exploded, it basically took that entire mountainside off? I mean, it was
Oh,
a big
yeah.
explosion.
Oh yeah, ash for
Yeah,
miles.
for miles. It wiped out trees, everything.
Okay. When this thing goes off, and they know it's going to because it's very active, when it's going to happen, they don't know.
Yeah.
But they know for a fact it's going to. This thing is going to be 2,000 times stronger than Mount St. Helens exploding.
Dear
Good
God.
God.
Listen, let me tell you
Listen,
something.
refresh my memory. Yellowstone. What state is it? What state is Yellowstone?
That's up in like
that
Idaho and Wyoming.
Yeah.
like one of them Midwest states over there, over that way.
Yeah.
Yellowstone.
Yellowstain.
Yellowstain.
That's on your underwear.
Where's that
Yellowstone
underwear at?
Park.
Where is it? People can need to
Listen, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead. I'll tell you who knows is Buster.
Yeah.
Buster goes out there all the time. He would know
knows
all
all that
about it.
stuff, yeah.
Listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll get Buster on the phone, and we'll come back, the Mad No Matter, and we'll talk about, we'll get Buster on the phone, and maybe he can give us some details on this.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. Yep, let's do
Fantastic.
it.
Sounds good.
Hey, you're listening to Rogan Radio. Hey, you're back on Rogan Radio. We're back on Rogan Radio with us. Jimmy Wisniewski, Todd Beck,
Hello.
and on the telephone we have Mike Pumphrey. Mike, what's going on, brother?
Mike.
Not much.
All right. Now, first of all, as you know, the month of March is colon cancer and kidney cancer awareness. Now, a few years ago, Mike, they had an ALS water bucket challenge, and first of all, you are going to start something tomorrow, which would be, what's the day? I don't even know, the 28th, I guess. And you have this new idea that's going to hopefully go nationwide, that's going to bring awareness to every type of cancer.
Yes.
Tell us all about it.
Go, Mike.
Well, the Ice Bucket Challenge, it made $220 million.
Right.
You know, it'd be nice to raise half that for cancer.
Absolutely.
So I came up with it, you know, have people donate money or shave their heads. I mean, it's just easy as that. People lose their hair all the time to cancer, and I'm not ashamed to shave my head. I mean,
Right, because
I'll get anywhere.
that's one thing I think that you know, when you start the chemotherapy and you start radiation and stuff like that, you always see people without any hair on their head, no hair in general. Period. Right?
Yeah, their whole body's gone.
And they're fighting this horrible
The whole
disease. Absolutely, it just tears them up. And one of the things emotionally, because you know one of the small things that people have is for dignity is their hair or.
Well, especially when you're talking about a woman.
Absolutely. Or
Yeah.
you know what, they wouldn't have these, you know, they have nail salons, they have beauty salons. I mean, there's a lot of pride. I mean, and they make themselves up like that, right? And this is a good idea, man. So what's going to happen basically is to bring awareness and then to raise money at the same time that's going to go to the American Cancer Society. It's going to kind of work into where I'm assuming you're going to start out and you'll challenge a few people, right?
Yes.
And then those people can either shave their heads or at the same time make a donation to the American Cancer Society. Is that how it's going to work?
Yes. And the women, if they want to donate, hair for where they can make the wigs.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
fine
that's
too.
cool. Yeah.
They don't have to shave their heads.
Let me tell you something. Do you know much about that, Mike? I mean, how does that work? I mean, can you, you know what?
It has to be 12 inches braided.
12 inches braided. Okay.
Yes, it has to be 12 inches.
And then and then you can go ahead and donate your hair like that. I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's
You,
cool.
you know what?
I didn't either until my little boy was born at Ruby.
Right.
And I've seen all these little kids, that had cancer and they were bald.
Yeah.
That's what made me start shaving my head 7 years ago.
Huh.
Every summer I will shave my head for the kids with cancer.
I'll tell you what, Mike. Is it not so? It's sad. It's sad. I mean,
It is.
you know, it's sad regardless if you're 90 years old, right? But when you see a little kid that's so innocent that they don't have any, they don't even know what life's about except the fact that they were born, or the only thing that they know is they're always in the hospital because of cancer, and they're going through all this treatment for cancer, right? And it's sad.
Yes.
It's absolutely heartbreaking. This is a good thing, man. So
I mean, if they need, something to stay alive, I live my life. I do it in a heartbeat for my kids.
absolutely,
absolutely you will.
If they need something,
They got it. Exactly.
absolutely. So this thing starts tomorrow. We went ahead. We're going to put some links up here. It's the Shine for Cancer Challenge, and once again, you're going to kick this off. Now, how are you going to have hopefully some like video and stuff like that? If you need any help with that, we'll be more than happy to help you with video and things like that.
yeah, well, I think I can video it.
Okay, very good. Okay, very good. That's
Well, my camera lady wife.
exactly.
Yeah.
Hopefully, hey, listen, man. Hopefully, she's not in the union because them union people really suck you dry of all your funds. You know that.
You got to watch out for
Yeah.
that.
So once again, tomorrow's going to kick off the Shine for Cancer Challenge, and you have a Facebook page for this, and then we're going to promote it here at Rogan Radio. We can like it and share it and let everybody know about it. And if say they don't want to shave their head, that's fine. That's fine.
They can always make a donation.
Then they can go ahead and make that donation. And if you want to, if you do shave your head, then you know what? You can, especially if you have a hair braided of 12 inches or longer, you can actually give that. It's almost like being in a really sixth sense, not 6 cents, but a sixth sense. You can actually be a sort of an alive cadaver.
Oh,
You can
absolutely.
actually be.
Yeah.
You could actually help somebody else be a woman again or be a man again if it's a toupee, say. Mike, great idea, brother. Great idea.
That's awesome.
How long you're going to go ahead and you're just going to keep this on until it goes on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see none of it's money. You know, I can just see how much it raised on that link there. I'm pretty sure everybody can.
Right.
But that money goes straight to cancer awareness.
Right. Yeah. Fantastic, brother.
Awesome.
And listen, man, we're going to go ahead and from time to time we're going to go have you on. If you can even go ahead and come in the studio sometime so we can talk about it. We're just going to go ahead and talk about this all the time. We're just going to see where it goes. I mean, if anything, it's just a good thing because if it saves one family, if it saves one person from going in and sitting at that stupid table across from a doctor and hearing that and you know, when a lot of people feel like they don't have any hope because nobody wants to hear that word, you have cancer. There's millions of people that hear that word, and now they know they're not going to be alone. And Mike, that's a great cause, brother. You did good with this. Great idea.
Rogan Radio's got your back there, Mike.
Yeah.
I just hope it goes. I'd love to see it make what
viral. We want this thing to go viral,
Mike. Bucket Challenge did.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Let's hope it does, brother. Well, hey, listen, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and post all the links for everything, of course. If you need any help from us, you let us know. We're going to keep in contact with you, bro, and we're going to see where it goes, brother. And, you know, we're going to cross our fingers like you are. All right, Mike, we appreciate you talking to us, brother.
Awesome.
All right, thanks.
All right, man, later on. Man. That was Mike Pumphrey, and once again, he's starting a campaign, sort of like what they did with the Ice Bucket Challenge. It's called the Shine for Cancer Challenge, and you know, well, basically, you're going to see these videos. You're going to be, and it starts. All these things start small. You know, we're not celebrities around here. Mike's not a celebrity. We're not celebrities, and you know what? We can share these things. Okay, I say if Mike nominates me, then I can say I nominate or I challenge Todd, Jimmy, Vicky, Stephanie, and Judy Rogan, right? And if you don't want to shave your head, listen, that's fine. You know, we have this big union thing coming up next month. I'm not necessarily sure I can shave mine, but I can definitely give money because, you know, I spend a lot of money on dumb shit anyway. And if we pull all this money together, just like what they did with the ALS challenge, man, you just never know the possibilities of all this.
I think I like to see you shave your head anyhow.
It needs a haircut. I do need a haircut.
Even if it's like he was saying, $10. $10 is not. Come on, just don't go to freaking BW3s one time or something like that.
Exactly,
big deal.
Absolutely right. I appreciate Mike coming in. Hey, listening. Once again, get hold of us if you have any questions concerning the Shine for Cancer Challenge. Go ahead and give us a ring at 681-222-ROGN. Go ahead and leave us a direct message on Twitter. You can do that. You can leave a comment on the YouTube video that we put up, or you can go ahead and send us a direct message on Facebook. All you have to do for all that is search for Rogan Radio. It's that easy. Listen, do you just want to call it a segment, and we'll just come back with something? I don't know what else we could come back. I mean, there's nothing else we could really talk about when it comes.
You don't want to really add anything to that.
There's
segment.
Nothing to add.
That segment should be by itself because it's important.
Absolutely, Jim.
Yeah, Shine for Cancer Challenge, Mike Pumphrey's. If you see that, you say you're going to post a link on.
Absolutely. And
then you know what? Listen, when you see that link, like it, and then share it. Encourage your friends to like it, share it, and before you know it, this thing's going to snowball. Yeah. And, you know, we'll see, maybe we'll see Obama shaving his head.
And you're absolutely right. You know what?
Does he have hair?
You don't have to shave your head. You don't even have to donate any money if you don't want to. If you don't think it's ever going to affect you, that's fine. I mean, you know. But you know what? It takes no time at all. It takes about a half a second to hit like and to hit share because somebody else might. And in one of the days when something comes back to haunt you, you'll be lucky that somebody did the challenge. Yeah. It's that easy.
It's very important. So
go ahead. Hey, you're listening to Rogan Radio. Hey, you're listening to Rogan Radio. We are back. We are live in the studios as we are every week. We really appreciate you listening. And if you would, please give us a like on our Facebook page. Give us a like on our YouTube channel, Twitter channel, Google Plus channel.
iTunes.
Give us a subscription. Go ahead and subscribe to us on the iTunes, on Soundcloud for the best results. You can even listen to us on Stitcher, and we are still working on TuneIn Radio, but you can listen to us on Google Play.
Thumbs up. Leave a comment on iTunes, would you please?
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
And you know, you can rate that like 1 star or 5 stars or something. Give it a 5-star rating.
Just go ahead.
That helps kind of move us to the top.
Yeah.
We like this. We're like cream. We come rise to the top.
Cream.
Not like
it just made me think
ice
of Prince's song "Cream."
Oh no, I don't
Get
listen to
on
Prince.
top.
What are you singing, man?
Cream.
Prince.
Oh my goodness! Did Jimmy just sing something like that?
Yeah, he sang a
You like
Prince
that?
song.
Come on, Prince is the man.
Prince is not the man.
I do not
Shoot.
want to. I do not want
George
to hear
Michael's
that
the
again.
man.
Oh.
Yeah, you would like the one that's
Go,
actually.
gonna go.
You probably
Don't
like them
let
better
me
than
up
Wham.
before you- That was Wham. George Michael was Wham, right?
Yeah, I said you probably liked him better when he was in Wham.
Yeah, I did. Because I would like Wham my go-go.
Probably liked his boyfriend too.
Did George Michael have a boyfriend? Or did he have a girlfriend?
Seriously?
He had a
Both.
boyfriend. maybe that door swung both ways, Jim. Yours does.
That's probably.
It's like a swinging door. It's like a swinging door. You have
We
what are
have a
those doors?
saloon door.
Have
No.
a couple comments, and we're going to get off of this thing because you guys aren't going anywhere with it. Off of iTunes, we want to say hello to the 5-star State Man. Says, why do I laugh at myself on episode 9? He was obviously on there. How about Phytopod? I don't know why, but whenever I listen to these guys, I get the urge to lick ice cream cones, wear flip-flops in public, and loudly chomp on bubble gum.
Or slurp my drink.
Oh, that's not funny, Fido. And from March 7th, actually, this is once again on iTunes. Very entertaining. They also give a lot of stuff.
That's Lizzie.
Give away a lot of stuff.
Thanks, Lizzie.
We do.
Thank you, Lizzie.
Look, were those all 5 stars? 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5.
Absolutely, all 5 stars.
There you go.
So go ahead and do that. We have a podcast about once every week. We do 2 podcasts now every week. One is the actual podcast. The other is the social hour. That's the social hour is what we do on the Facebook. We do like a live thing now since they can do that. And maybe one day we'll incorporate it all into one. But I kind of like it separate. It's 2 different things.
Yeah, I think a lot of people like it. And you can still listen to it separate if you want. If you go to, all those different venues you mentioned earlier, you can listen to the live hour, 30-minute live hour.
Actually,
Well, it's kind of like a 43-minute last hour.
I think the 30-minute, the conception, it was about, how long was this podcast supposed to be? Like 30 minutes?
Originally, the podcast for Rogan Radio was going to be 30 minutes every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. So now we're up to, 40-some minutes just for the live
Every
half hour,
week.
30-minute, every week. And we got 3 segments for the podcast. What's that usually running? Like around an hour?
Holy crap, dude.
What? What do you got there? I'm calling.
Listen, what's the date? This is stuff from tonight. How about all this? I'm just looking. What I'm doing here, I'm looking at the Google Voice number that we have.
Can you read that one right there? Oh, no. There's our quote of the week right there.
Yeah, right here.
Yep.
But look at all these ones I didn't see. Let's see. I'm going to turn these up here real quick.
Oh, these are voicemails.
Yeah, we were getting these.
Are these all from tonight?
Yeah, listen.
Chuck, I'm trying to call in, but it's making me leave a message. What the hell is going on, dude?
How about this one?
Man.
Hey, Rogan Radio. This is AJ.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice,
you see how they listen to that live in the background.
Right.
Hi, this is Stephanie. I'm calling. I want to win some tickets.
Tickets.
How about
did
that?
Did that used to drive you crazy when you were on the radio? When you would call in for like a contest, but they had the radio on in the car
Yeah.
because they wanted to hear themselves, so they
Probably
could
echoed and stuff.
get all that.
Right. Hey, sweetheart, we're on the air, aren't we? Love ya. Have fun. Bye.
Oh,
all that action.
yeah. Well, don't say nothing then.
It said Arizona. That was me, though.
Okay,
Yep.
no.
Well, that was because we were on the other line, probably.
Yeah, everybody was
But
trying-
anyway, once go ahead and those are some of the voicemails that we got. Go ahead and give us a call, 681-222-ROGN. Very exciting news that we're going to be let's just get to the quote of the week.
All right,
Actually,
scroll down there a
this
little
is the
bit for
exciting news.
Scroll down there.
Do we have applause? Jimmy, do you have applause ready?
No, I'll just clap.
Okay, we'll do it. Oh, you're good. You're best at the clap. Okay.
Okay, this week's quote of the week for Rogan Radio is from phone number 7742. The quote of the week is as follows. Friends are like orgasms. Nobody likes fake ones.
Yay!
Where the hell's the applause?
Right.
What
do you think we're doing,
this
man?
Is what it's called
Oh.
up as applause.
Oh, God.
You don't even know what an orgasm is, so don't even act like it.
Listen, I have plenty of my own. Whatever. All by myself.
All by myself.
I'm just kidding.
Listen,
I'm
I'll tell you
only
what.
kidding.
One of the big things going about, there's this big news story right now talking about these inhibitors, these
Yeah, they're called
proton
proton pump inhibitor.
proton pack inhibitors.
This is not Ghostbusters.
I know that's what it sounds like.
But what basically these are, they're the prescription drugs that you take to kind of hold back your acid reflux, to kind of cut down on acid reflux. Well, we know what, with every action, there's a reaction, and they're finding out now that if you take a lot of these things, because they're only good for 14 days before your body starts adjusting to them and producing more acid in your stomach. Well, no, when, I was on Nexium and Prilosec for a long time for acid reflux, and then it quit working. So then I went to Nexium, and Nexium seemed to work a lot better for a while, and then all of a sudden nothing worked anymore, and I had to go up, and I was like, I have to get off of these pills. Well, anyway, long-term use of these things, they're finding out now, is raises your risks of dementia. By 44%. And it also, there's also a pretty good chance of getting kidney disease from taking these things.
You need to start going to crack.
Now, listen, I'm going to tell you this before anything else. If you have acid reflux, there's a reason why. I mean, once again, if you feel like crap, there's a reason you feel like crap. A pill is not going to solve that. You solving the problem of why you feel like crap is the simple solution. It's just harder.
Well, there's got to be. Yeah, see, that's what it is. It's just harder because you're going to have to change some kind of a lifestyle, and you don't want to do that. You want to eat pizza rolls at 11 o'clock and all that.
And that's exactly what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to go and eat pizza rolls. I have high blood pressure. I don't have cholesterol problems. But listen, and I'm telling you this, and I want you to try this. And if you have any experience with this, let me know about it. Give us a text or give us a voicemail or send us something on Rogan Radio, whatever. But if you ever have, if you wake up in the middle of the night with acid reflux and it's burning and it's hurting, man,
and it wakes you up,
and it hurts, it scratches. Go downstairs and do this simple solution. Take 1 teaspoon, no more than that. Take a teaspoon of baking soda, put it in water, stir it up for about a minute.
Cold water.
And the reason it's a minute, at least a minute, is to make sure everything dissolves, right? Because you don't want to, you want to make sure it dissolves.
Yeah.
Then you drink it. Now, listen, it doesn't taste very good, but your acid reflux will go away right now.
No, when he says right now, what he means is
right
instantaneously.
Now.
It absolutely does. It's an all alkaline versus an acidic thing, and alkaline wins every time, and it will
neutralize that stuff right now.
Your acid reflux will be gone.
And I was not, and I thought you were crazy until I tried it myself and listened. And I tell everybody now, they're like, heartburn. Listen, do this. But I think one thing you told me, you said, listen, don't, this. I mean, this is not this is not something you want to do every day. You don't want to do it.
Well, here's the thing too, is that because of what it does, it neutralizes acid. You don't want to drink it an hour before or an hour after you eat, unless you're really hurting. Now, if you're hurting, then who gives a shit at that point, right?
Yeah, because your body still needs that acid to break down that for digestion.
Your body needs acid, and that's the problem with these proton pack inhibitor things, is that they try to inhibit the acid because that's what's hurting your esophagus. Well, you know what? Let's just do something different. As soon as you just try this, just try it. And if you have acid reflux, drink it. Get off of these pills. Now, I will warn you this. If you're on these pills and you get off of them, and you need to get off of them, your acid reflux is going to be so excruciating.
If you stop taking them.
Once you start taking these pills, once you quit taking these pills, because your body's so used to you taking the pills, and they're fighting the pills' effects and all that, and you're going to be producing 2 or 3 times the amount of acid that you normally would, it's going to feel like shit for a long time.
Yeah. Listen, Prilosec, Nexium, or a couple of these PPIs. It says right here, Chuck, that researchers say that patients who are taking these PPIs, these
proton pack inhibitors,
had a significantly increased risk of incident dementia compared to patients not receiving PPI medication.
It's bizarre like that.
Wow.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
Now, there's another story that Jimmy has. Now, this is another natural solution, and it sort of involves the same thing, except this is with Alzheimer's.
Yeah, and it says, and even if you're counting calories, big deal. It says it's worth pouring some maple syrup on your morning stack of pancakes. So I guess not only does the sweetener provide a major flavor boost, but it also can protect your brain from Alzheimer's disease.
Sugar? It's the sugar.
It's something in the maple syrup.
Yeah,
it's the
nature
nature
of
of
like
it.
a
I guess the
natural.
American Chemical Society, did all this research or whatever, but it prevents 2 types of proteins that are found in the brain cells from clumping together. I guess when these proteins clump together, it leads to plaque in the brain, which can result in Alzheimer's and other neurological.
You can tell you're from Pennsylvania.
Diseases.
I'm glad you're a doctor, right?
Brain diseases.
So basically, how amazing is it that you have something as simple as baking soda to kind of go against? And I'm not saying, I'm not a doctor. All I can tell you is that it works, and I'm not on prescription medication, which I like.
Damn it, Jim, I'm not a doctor.
And now they're finding out if you eat maple syrup, that you know what, that helps against Alzheimer's. It's kind of funny that all of these things that farmers have done since the beginning of time is turning out to be like with cholesterol. How can a farmer eat bacon and eggs and ham and all this meat all the time, but they never die of heart attacks?
Yeah. It's saying even if you're already diagnosed with it, too, it could actually prolong your lifespan by preventing any further clumping or tangling, whatever the proteins do.
It's amazing like that.
The body is such an amazing organism.
All you have to do is stay natural. Stay natural.
Stay away from all this processed food, bro.
But that's the problem, is that it's almost impossible to do that.
And it tastes so wonderful.
I'll tell you something else that's going to be impossible to do. Talking about death.
Rub your tummy and pat your head?
No, that has nothing to do with death. The one thing that does have to do with death is this monster super volcano out in Yellowstone.
Yes.
Now listen, I have never been out to Yellowstone. I've never been out west. I've been out to Texas and Oklahoma.
I've been out there.
Louisiana. But I've never been out to Idaho and all.
I can tell you're missing out. Been to Colorado, Idaho, Wyoming, all of them, and it's absolutely breathtaking.
Just the scenery of it.
The scenery is breathtaking.
There's what scientists have discovered, this monster, or they've known it's been out there for a long time. I think this thing's went off over the last couple 100,000 years, if not longer, 4 or 5 times. And there's this monster volcano that sits under Yellowstone. And when we say sits under Yellowstone, we're not talking about the size of a small city.
No.
We're basically talking about a state.
No, this thing, we pulled up a graph, Yellowstone supervolcano eruption. If this thing erupts.
Now, first of all, to put it in perspective, the volcano itself is 55 miles deep.
It's 55 miles long and 18 miles wide.
Right.
Wow. So from under Yellowstone now.
So basically the volcano, on what we know, if you would go 55 miles down and then 18 miles wide, when that thing decides to explode, that thing is going to be full of force and lava and magnum and all that stuff coming out. Now, listen, I can remember when the Mount St. Helens went off. I can remember watching the video, and what was weird about the whole thing is that it was almost like these days somebody would obviously catch it on a cell phone or something.
Yeah.
But back in them days, you had
and then be dead.
It almost looked like a webcam chat. When we were doing that stuff out in the garage, it was like 3 shots. It was like, boom, the mountain was there.
You saw the mountain kind of collapse before it even exploded. It was like slid. And then boom!
Yeah, and it was all like in 6 frames. It was really kind of bizarre about that. But this thing is 55 miles deep and 18 miles wide. And when this thing explodes, and they know it will because it has before.
And there's an unusually alarming amount of seismic activity going on recently there.
Yeah, and listen, if the Yellowstone supervolcano erupts, says a 2013 study, the resulting eruption could be up to, you ready for this? 2,000 times as violent as Mount St. Helens.
That's big.
Wow.
Now, they just had one last year. Excuse me for that. The weather's changing here in the West Virginia area. There was a thing in 2015 where they went back. Now, what's that all about? Because they even discovered something deeper, I believe. There's been 3 super eruptions that have happened. It's like there's like a cycle. What used to be like 2.1 million years. Now they're pretty close. I think there's evidence of 12 volcanoes out there, or the eruptions that they've had over the past 3 million years, and how geologists do all this stuff. It still amazes me that they can go and find water with those 2 little metal rods.
Right. What are those called? Divining rods or something like this.
Yeah, and these guys are finding volcanoes in the ground and they're looking at now, we're about due.
Yeah, the most recent took place about 640,000 years ago, but you know what? You think, my God, that is a long time ago, but not really, not in the geologic time scale. This thing they said that this thing is overdue for an eruption, bro.
Think about that.
Probably
think about that. And you think about this. We live. I think what's the average lifespan? 79 years. And you look now. This is what's crazy. To show you what's crazy. Say 640,000 years is absolutely a finger snap in the history of the world, right? As far as history goes. And you think about, if we live 79 years, Okay, then I challenge you this. This is my challenge to you.
I'll take your challenge. You're going to regret.
You're 10 years old.
Best there's ever been.
Go from when you're 10 years old. Okay, 10 years old. When did you start? What age do you start kindergarten?
Like around 5 or 6.
Okay, is it that early?
5. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
What time did you? Well, when did your kids start kindergarten?
So say we're 5 or 6. Okay, I'll go back because you could probably remember kindergarten.
I'd remember.
Okay. So we're going to go from 5 to 45. We're going to take those 40 years, just 40 years, not 640,000 years, those 40 years, and look at the evolution of man between TV, cell phones, cars, stuff where you can broadcast in your house, all this stuff. And that seems like a pretty long time.
Yeah.
You know, 40 years seems like a long time as far as the advancement of man goes. And that would not even be a second. That would be an
Blink,
18th
like
of a
blink,
second.
like a little blink. That
In the
long.
scheme of these volcanoes going off in a geological sense, and man, when this thing goes off, listen, the kill zone, listen, it's going to wipe, what, 2/3 of the United States out?
Yeah, that's exactly what it said.
It looks like it's covering a good bit of...
Predictions: 2/3 of the U.S. could be devastated by this thing.
It's covering a good portion of
Yeah,
4
we're looking at a
states.
graph right now.
Just the instant kill.
Yeah, just the kill zone. Was it Idaho, northern Utah, northern Colorado, Wyoming.
Yeah.
And then it's got a primary ash zone, a secondary ash
Now,
zone.
you
This
can
goes all
imagine.
the way out to Illinois and Missouri, east, all the way to Oregon
California,
and the almost
yeah.
California west. This thing is going to be big if it happens.
Now it's going to happen.
When
When
it
it
happens.
happens.
When
it happens. But there's, like Jimmy said, there's a lot of seismic activity happening out there right now. But, you know, when you start talking, you know, I always thought hurricanes were monsters, right? Because they would come in, you know, a tornado is a massive amount of energy, but it's only, say, at most a mile. We'll stretch and say 2 miles wide, traveling 60 miles an hour, but it's contained to 2 miles. Well, 2 miles on a dot on the United States is nothing, right?
Yeah.
So then next you take this hurricane, and you have a hurricane. Now, hurricane's pretty big.
Yeah, but and they usually only affect coastal areas, and then they die out pretty quick.
Pretty quick.
Yeah,
pretty
once
quick.
they hit land, they
But
peter
then
out. That's what I like to say, peter out.
You have all this
Just
energy.
like Peter.
You have all this energy coming out. It's almost like you squeezing a zit on your face. You're putting those things. There's pressure, right? Pressure, and then boom, and then the volcano
straight up,
erupts, and you're
boom.
and all of a sudden, you know,
mashed potatoes.
sometimes you have those little ones where it's just a little blood and something comes out of your skin. But then you have other ones that shoot, and they just shoots all over your mirror, right?
That's disgusting.
Well, make me gay.
But you think about that, and you think about the kill zone. I mean, this is on a massive scale of 55 miles wide, 55 miles down, 18 miles wide.
That's a big zit.
Listen, you're taking states out right off the bat. The states are gone because of the massive. I mean, it's like skin coming off your face. Boom! That's the stuff on your mirror, right?
Oh God.
But then you think about all the ash and everything else that comes out of that. So then you have to add all these surrounding states, and it's not the ash. I mean, it's the pollution of it. It's not that. It gets on the vegetation. The animals can't eat the vegetation.
Yep.
You know, people can't eat the animals. Blah 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 blah. All
So-
that
so- dies out,
Yeah, so
man.
not only is it going to affect the area that we saw on our little graph right there, but you know the whole rest of the United States is going to be affected drastically.
Now here's
on top of all
now
that.
this is one thing they didn't talk about. They talk about instantaneously the kill zone, the primary ash zone, and then the second primary or the second ash zone. But think about all the shit that goes in the air and gets transferred from the jet stream and gets blown all over the place.
All
You're
this-
talking about all this like sulfates and all this stuff that
'cause-
comes out of the
Yeah,
ground.
once this thing hits, it's
Devastating. It's absolutely devastating.
This thing said it could blast 240 cubic miles of ash, rock, and lava into the atmosphere.
That's big, boy.
240 cubic miles of ash.
Listen, that's big. Mm-hmm. That's big.
You know, that ash will cover tons of stuff, man. Oof.
It'll be
Oh,
like
goodness.
Pompeii.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it'd be like Pompeii, and everybody be,
Well,
know,
that's what I mean.
And listen, here's the thing. That's not just like, oh, here's a little bit of ash. That's hot ash. Like in Pompeii, it come down, and that ash was so hot it like just made everybody solid rock, or you know, like
Yeah, and that was
melted
miles
them
and
all.
miles away. And listen, this isn't crazy. I mean, it's not like there's not. I mean, it's just like you have the Earth and there's pressure in there. I mean, it happens. There's volcanoes, and look, go out to Hawaii and you see those kind of volcanoes.
Well, that's how they were all created, right? Volcanoes.
It's just a matter of time before this stuff happens.
Listen, this little
and when
ball-
it does, listen, it's going to be massive.
You think we'll have to work the next day?
Listen, I'm telling you. Let me tell you
know
something.
what? You might.
If this happens,
People got to know.
we gotta-
that's right.
we'll have to deliver all those Amazon.com bills. We have to do all that.
They'll all be covered in ash.
So
The post
as long
will
as you
they'll
can
have to
read it.
screen everything because they'll think it's anthrax.
You know, that's one thing I've always wondered if they have trees called locust trees. Is that because like the cicadas really love those? But maybe if we have ash trees, it was because they were there. They can withstand volcano blasts. So if you
man.
stand underneath one of those things, you'll be all
They grow
right. Be
better
like a
in
big
ash.
umbrella.
Those cicadas are coming soon.
Very soon.
68 degrees in the ground. And we're going to be hearing that stuff.
It was 77 degrees today, man.
We'll have cicada pie.
Take a while for that grind.
We're
But
not
anyway,
having cicada
that's
pie.
that. One thing we don't want you to forget about, though, is giving us a little like on the Facebook page, on YouTube, Google
Please.
Plus, Twitter, whatever, on the iTunes. Subscribe to us, or even on the SoundCloud or Stitcher. You can do that, and you can do it on Google Play now, which is pretty cool. Big dance coming up with the Duggar Dance. We're going to be talking about this for about a month. That dance is on May 7th. We're going to be giving away a pair of tickets and an overnight stay at the Best Western where the actual dance is at. And listen, if you don't think that's a big thing, you're crazy, because that's a pretty big thing.
Oh,
We'll be
everybody knows.
we're going to be there. We're going to be there live. And once again, we talked to Mike Pumphrey earlier. Tomorrow starts the Shine for Cancer Challenge. Be looking for that on the Facebook. We're going to have links to all of these things on the YouTube video and on the Facebook, of course. We highly encourage you to like those things, to follow them, and even if you don't donate or shave your head or whatever in the case of the Shine for Cancer Challenge, at least share it and like it to let, kind of, so you can kind of get the word out. That's the most important thing. Get that word out. And we had a pretty good Easter too.
Yeah.
Right?
Did you go have? We didn't do anything with the family this week because I was
didn't
under the weather.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
not in my
So we're gonna
house
do it
yet,
next
stuff,
week.
so.
Well,
we
that's
still had
great.
this. Kids came over. We had a good time.
One thing I really appreciate is the dedication of Todd.
You're welcome.
Where the fact of it, Jimmy, is that he had the flu, and he could not. I mean, he literally was feeling bad. Where he shouldn't have came to work on Thursday.
Yeah.
No,
but he did.
No, I didn't.
And
I shouldn't have.
And he felt bad. He started getting this cough, and he started feeling sore and all this stuff. But he didn't. He felt so bad he could not have Easter. He could not celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ on today. But he could come do the podcast and share his flu bug with us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You guys
Thank
don't
you.
talk. You
Thank
don't
you
talk
for
into
that.
this mic, do you?
No.
Don't use this one. Make sure this one stays right here.
Hey, until next week, on behalf of Jimmy Wisniewski, on behalf of Todd Beck, on behalf
We said
of
your
Mike
name.
Pumphrey.
Did.
Yeah, it's because he feels bad. He's not feeling. He's feeling under the
Because
weather.
he's sick.
Hey, you're listening to Rogan Radio.